Hey guys, Ryan here from ExtremeTerrain. Today I'm here with the Smittybilt one-piece hardtop with upper doors in textured black, fitting your 97 to 06 Wrangler TJ, excluding those unlimited models. Now if you're looking to upgrade or replace your top, whether it be a soft top or a hardtop, and you're just looking for a quieter ride or to stay a little warmer in those winter months, you should be checking out this top from Smittybilt. Now soft top windows and uppers can be a pain to unzip, especially in the winter months when they get cold and that plastic gets stiff. Now this setup is going to be a lot quieter than a soft top setup in those plastic windows, and it's going to be a lot more secure, allowing you to lock up your Jeep as well as those valuables that you want to store inside. Now this top is made from hand-laid fiberglass with a honeycomb design, making it very durable, and it's carpeted inside. Now the carpeting inside is military spec and mildew free. It's going to provide a cozy look, sound deadening, as well as changing it up from that factory white interior. The exterior is black to give you that factory look, and the windows provide a 31% tint, which is going to give you some privacy. Now this is a great option to go with as long as you don't mind losing some of those factory amenities, such as that rear wiper and rear defrost. This is a bolt-on design that's going to come complete with brand new hardware to install, and it's going to be a direct fit for your Wrangler. Along with that factory black outside, you're going to have a UV-coated gel, which is going to protect it from the sun and those harsh UV rays. Now, this is average price as far as these aftermarket tops go, and I think this is a very reasonable option for a high-quality top at just around $2,500. Now, as far as installation goes, I'm going to give this a pretty tough 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Expect this to take you about an hour to get installed, and you can do all this using basic hand tools. Now, with that being said, let's hop into the install. Tools that we use for this install: a razor blade, trim panel removal tool, 1/4-inch drive ratchet, 8mm wrench, Phillips head screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, needle nose pliers, an alcohol prep pad, 3/8 socket, 13mm socket. Now, of course, the first thing you'll need to do is get your top off. Whether you have a hard top or a soft top, this thing is going to be a direct bolt on it. Now, if you have a soft top, you're going to have a few more items that you need to remove. You'll have tailgate bar retainers back there, and of course, you'll have door surrounds. So you'll need to get those off and make way for this new top. Now, with that being said, I'm going to go grab a friend to help me pick this up, because we're actually going to start with the body of the hard top to lift this up on there, and then we'll get it bolted down with the brand new hardware. So now that we have the hardtop on, there's going to be 2 latches up front. There's also 6 bolts that we need to install in the back. So before we get those latches installed, we want to make sure that we get all these bolts in, because we may need to shift this hardtop forward to line up those holes. So we're going to crawl in the back. We're going to take that brand new hardware that we have, and we're going to get it installed all around this thing. Each one of these holes is going to get a bolt. Each bolt is going to get a flat washer, and underneath we're going to use these nut plates to secure this down. Now, these nut plates have a raised edge, so we want to face that up. That way it lines up with that hole. So we're going to slide this up in there, drop this bolt down, and then we're just going to get this bolt to screw into that nut plate. So we're just going to work our way around and get all these installed. So now that we have the bolts installed, we can come up here to the front. Now before we get the latches installed up front here, we have one more thing to do. Smittybilt provides us with these foam sections. You get 2 of them, 1 for each side, and they're actually going to go in between this brand new hardtop and this plastic trim panel right here. This is to create a nice tight seal that's going to be weather tight. That way we don't have any leaks or any air that comes in. Now these have an adhesive backing, so it would be a good idea to clean this area with some rubbing alcohol or isopropyl wipe, and that way we have a clean area that this is actually going to stick to. So what we're going to do is gently lift this top up. We'll slide this foam piece in, we'll stick it on there, then we can slide it back down and then get to those latches. So then we'll go over to the other side and we'll do that same thing. Peel the adhesive backing off, gently lift up on this. Now if you can't get it up in the air enough, you might want to loosen those bolts. That way that'll give you a little more travel. Now if you do have a little bit of excess, you can always trim that off. Now we'll work on getting our latches installed. So the way you adjust these latches, if you need to make them looser, you can untwist them. If you need to make them tighter, you can twist them in. You also have this jam nut here, so once you get it set where you want, you can go ahead and tighten that up and lock that in place. So once those latches are on up front and adjusted, you can tighten down that jam nut with an 8mm wrench. Now I want to stress that you just want to make them snug. You don't want to over tighten them because you can actually pull the latch out of the hardtop. Now that we have that done, we're going to come here to the back. We're going to crawl back inside of the back and we're going to tighten down all of those bolts that we installed using a 13mm socket. So now that we have the hardtop completely bolted on, the next thing we're going to do is get this rear window installed. Now this comes with brand new hardware, and we're actually going to bolt it to the back of the hardtop. And this is a large and delicate item, so you want to grab a friend. So we're going to take our window, we're going to fit it inside this little alcove. So we're going to hold that nice and tight. We're going to pass these bolts through. So you're going to have pre-drilled holes in this hardtop, and we just need to line these holes up with our brackets. That way we can push them all the way through. Once we get all these bolts installed, we'll go on the inside and we'll get the other hardware installed on the back side. Each one of the bolts is going to get a flat washer and a nut. Then we go to the other side, we'll do the same thing, getting those flat washers and nuts installed. So to tighten this up, you'll need someone on the outside with a Phillips head screwdriver. They're going to hold the screw still while you use a ratchet with a 3/8 socket. That way you can lock these nuts down and lock it in place. So the next thing we need to do is attach our gas struts. Now the gas struts are already attached to the glass rear window, so all we need to do is lift the tailgate up and then slide them and click them on to the hardtop. This should be relatively easy to do. They should just click right on. So we're going to lift this all the way up until it lines up with this pin. Then we're just going to push them until they click on. Then we'll do the same thing for that other side. So the last thing we have to do on this back section is to apply these foam pieces. Now these foam pieces that we're going to get, these long strips, these are going to apply right here on both sides. This is going to, once again, create a weather tight seal. And these have an adhesive backing, so the first thing you want to do is wipe that area down because we don't want any dirt or oil that's going to keep that from sticking. So we're going to take an alcohol wipe, we're going to peel that open, and we're just going to clean that area real quick. After you get that stuck on, you can just cut the excess off. So next thing we're going to do is come over to our half door because we have to pull out these factory inserts. This is relatively easy to do. What we're going to do is just pinch these and use a flathead screwdriver to pry them out because we have these little nutserts we need to install in the bottom of these, then we can put them back in. So we're going to get all 3 of these out. You're going to have 3 per door. We'll get those installed and then we'll get them back in. So now that we have these inserts out, you can see exactly what they look like. These have 4 little legs on the bottom. That is what is actually going to hold these nutserts on the bottom. These have cutouts in there and these fingers are going to hold them in place. The way these hard uppers attach is they actually drop bolts down through into these and they screw together. This is just a more secure way of attaching that versus your factory soft uppers which have pegs and just drop into these. So with that being said, we're going to get all of these installed. Now, these are a pretty tight fit, so you may need to use needle nose pliers just to bend these tabs out a little bit so you can get these secured. So the best way I have found to do this is to just place it on the table. What we're going to do is just line these little legs up with these cutouts. We're just going to wiggle this back and forth and press down until it clicks in, just like that. So now that we have all of these installed and that's done, we can drop them right back into the door. When putting these back in, they're only going to go one way. You see that there is this flat bar up here and there's a cutout right there. So just make sure that you put them in the proper way. So we have our driver's side upper on the table. We use the material that it comes wrapped in to protect it while it's on the table. And the next thing we gotta do is pull this panel off. Well, like I said, you get 3 bolts per side that's gonna hold this down to the half door, and 2 are hidden underneath of this panel. So we're gonna pull this off. You have 2 push pins in here. We'll use a trim panel removal tool to pull those out and get this panel off. Then we can go ahead and work on getting that attached. Now we're going to put that on there and then bolt it down. So we're going to lift this up and place it over our half door. Now you're going to have 3 holes, like I said. These 2 holes right here, the middle and the back one, they're going to get a 4-inch long bolt. This one at the very front is going to get the longest bolt, the 5-inch bolt. Now each one of these is going to get a washer, and these metal washers have a little rubber washer on the bottom. You want to make sure that you point that down, that way it's going to protect that surface. So we're going to go ahead all the way across this, get all these bolts installed, then we'll use a flathead screwdriver to tighten them all up. So you want to make sure when you're putting these in that you don't press too hard because we don't want those little nutserts to pop out of there. So once you get all of those in and tight, you can reinstall this panel. So that's basically going to wrap it up for the installation. There is one last thing that I'd like to mention. After you get these hard uppers installed, if they do fit a little tight or weird, you can always loosen up the hinges on the doors, allow that door to drop a little bit to get a little better fit, and then you can tighten those hinges back up. However, that's going to wrap up my review and install. For more videos and products like this, check us out at ExtremeTerrain.com.